Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. This is Kyle and Drew, your sneak peek at next week, episode number 598, for comics originally releasing November the 3rd and the 4th, 2020, the penultimate month of 2020. Before Drew and I get into what's coming out in your local comic shops this next week, Drew, if UCS goes down and these things all change, are we still going to get 2 different days for comics, or is it going back to 1 day a week?
No, I think DC's going to change. They're the one that control their release date, and they decided they wanted
their own day. So regardless, it's going to stay.
No, they wanted to sync up with the rest of their media along their conglomerate corporation. Right. So all their CDs and DVDs and everything. If there's still physical media out there, their
Betamaxes will all come out the same day.
They all come out on Tuesdays. Yeah. So they wanted to sync those up. I think. They didn't
gotcha. So regardless, I'm still gonna have to say 2 days for the rest of my life.
Yeah, probably
till the day I die.
But more importantly, Mando.
Yes, Happy Mandolorian season 2 opening day, Drew.
Yeah, first episode of the second season dropped today. I loved it. What did you think?
And appointment television, and one of the few things non-bingeable. Boy, I love that. I love that.
No, I mean I'm fiending for the next episode,
100%.
but it's a good yearning that I have. Yeah. So yeah, I believe last year, like I think I binged last year. I think I came to the party late, or binged like half a season or something because I wasn't on top of things, and. Would you say last season was uneven, or would you say it was great from beginning to end?
I think it was great from beginning to end. I really liked the one-off nature of it, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I kind of like the procedural element of it, like going from place to place and solving crimes or whatever.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think there were a couple episodes I didn't like last year, but this first episode, oh my goodness. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I don't know if that's fan service in there, if you'd call that fan service, but there was a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed because I recognized it.
Lots of fan service. And it seems like they're letting actors ad-lib a lot more. It seems like they were having a lot more fun with things. This episode.
Mando cracking some jokes.
Yeah.
Has some good comic timing. And... Did Favreau, how many did he direct last year? Do you remember?
I don't remember. He wrote them all, but I can't remember how many he directed.
Yeah, he directed this first episode, and it just sizzled, man. It was great.
Yeah.
I am psyched for this. I don't know how many episodes they're doing of this season, but I'm looking forward to each and every one of them.
And we know what we get at the end of the season, and I just can't wait.
We do?
Well, never mind then. It'll be a surprise for you.
Has it been spoiled somehow?
We got casting news on a character.
Oh, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this.
Moving on. It was very comic book related, Drew.
Was it?
Yes.
Oh wow, doggone. Well, don't tell me.
I won't.
But anyway, Mandalorian's great. Watch it. Don't forget. Oh, and we have we had a gift.
Yes,
we got some gifts this week from Eric Wolf, a listener. We appreciate him very much. Took time out of his day. He heard Kyle whining and crying about
what this time. There's a lot of things that doesn't narrow it down.
This one was about the Loki cover for Thor number 4, subsequent
cover.
Printing.
Yes.
And he found it in his LCS, picked that up for you, dropped it in the mail, and sent it to you. But he also felt bad. He got me something too. So he got me a sweet Moon Knight, like 195. It was like a virgin cover without the masthead on it that I had never seen before.
Very cool.
So a Moon Knight that I didn't have, that was very cool. So Eric, we appreciate that very much. Mr. Eric Wolf, thanks for listening, and thank you for the gifts. It's very, very cool. Yeah, he also had a question. He also sent a question to us.
Well, now we have to answer. I feel obligated.
We definitely have to read this on the air. Have you discussed proper packing for shipping comics? I prefer to use Gemini mailers, or Uline has a nice similar product. S165, which is about 70 cents each for about 100 of them. They seem really sturdy and they're expandable. I also like to reinforce them with firm cardboard and usually place in a 12x9 envelope. Never send media mail because it's not meant for comics since they have ads. I'm curious how you guys like to ship, and if you have any scary horror stories about shipping.
We've done a few features on this way back in the early days of comics.
Back in the day, yeah.
And, you know, depending on how much we're selling, because I've never gone scary cheap, but I've gone cheap many times on some bulk stuff for sale.
Yes.
You had it down to a pretty good science based on how to sell an individual comic for the least money per shipping. You had it down pretty good.
Yeah, I got it down pretty good there for a while. Now, Eric does better than I do. I don't use Gemini mailers.
I love them. I save
they're
everything
awesome.
I have and redo everything I have. But
they're awesome. But I don't usually use them myself unless I'm reusing someone that I got, one that I got. But I'm like, yeah, 9x12 envelope.
Yeah.
Very thick cardboard, stiff
Sturdy
cardboard. And make sure that it's taped in the center so that none of the corners can get bumped. And it's, of course, bagged and boarded. I used, if I have them, because we have a lot of like grocery sacks from all my food that I consume. So I'll even put like two or three grocery sacks, so there's like a pocket of plastic around that as well before I stick it into the 12x9 envelope. And yeah, then I send first class. It's about 6 ounces normally.
Now we've played the media mail game in our past. We'll
not with a single comic.
Not with a single, correct? Absolutely not.
But let's say if I'm sending 20 or like a full run, yeah, I'm probably going to roll the dice on media mail, unless we're doing priority for it with the insurance and stuff. So if it's high value, I'll do priority and get it insured. If it's just kind of standard comics that I'm selling and it's just like a run, I might media mail that.
Yeah. Drew has a very good relationship with his post office, so much so that they've given him rolls of stickers before.
Yeah, they give me media mail stickers, and just put those on there. I'll just get it right through. So, but yeah, I don't usually do a lot of usually it's twosies and threesies, not that many at a time. But yeah, I kind of got it down to a science for mailing one. I've done enough of those. Yeah. One or two are pretty easy.
And it really depends on the price. If I'm selling an $80 book, I might even splurge for a top loader. I've done that before.
Oh yeah. Once it gets higher, then that changes. Graded or a high dollar book. An ASM 300 or something. You got to take care of that. Get that to that person so they can have a $5,000 book when they open it.
Or your werewolf by night. We'll talk about that later, though.
Oh my God! I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, we may have to dust that back on. We've of course continued to learn some more.
Yeah.
We've all have the horror stories because we sell a lot on eBay, and of course eBay is always going to side with the buyer, whether they're telling the truth or not. So.
Yeah, we've had horror stories in both directions.
Been extorted on many occasions.
Yes.
Just send me half the money back. Nope, I'll take the comic back. Just send me. Nope, I'll take the comic back. Nope.
Yeah. Please give me the comic.
Just give me the comic back.
No. I don't want to go to that trouble. Well, then.
Shut up.
Then shut up. Stick it. A lot of scammers out there. You gotta be careful. Yeah. Jason wants to know: have you guys ever experienced any paranormal activity? Another Halloween themed question.
I've got. There was a group of friends that we always used to, I don't know, do weird things, and then we, have you ever done the light as a feather, stiff as a board game thing where
No,
you try to
no.
lift somebody with just your fingers by
I've
chanting
seen it.
and
I've
all
seen
that
it on
stuff.
television. I've never participated. No.
We played that game with a person that we were never supposed to be able to lift, and we swear it worked out perfectly. And then subsequently, whenever we talk about that, something would happen. A shelf would fall, or something loud would happen. So I'm convinced that parts of the old Fraser house were haunted. We always have things like that. So there's been a few things that have freaked me out over the years, and to that extent, I don't watch scary movies or anything like that. That is not my jam. You will not catch me in a haunted house. I am quite the chicken when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I get kind of freaked out, I guess, in like the woods at night. Mm-hmm. Because I hear a lot of things snapping and cracking, the leaves and stuff around me, and I've seen shapes and things. I have no idea if it was just like an animal or what, but sometimes they've made very non-animal noises and look like people and moved ethereally and freaked me out. And it's always been like in the woods, deep in the woods, and it's been dark, and so that kind of freaks me out sometimes.
I'm a pretty easy mark, so if we go somewhere and they're like, "This place is haunted," I'm like, "Let's just leave then, and we won't worry about that ever again."
Yeah.
They can have it.
We would be terrible in a horror movie because as soon as the walls said "get out," we would get out.
We would just like,
okay, we're out.
And then it'd just be credits.
It'd be the world's shortest horror movie.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. No. I don't think I've ever been possessed or anything. Sometimes I think my wife is, but
I've seen your head spin around before, but other than that.
But yeah, good timing on that question. I like that.
Yeah, and we live close to the Mothman, so there's all
true.
that stuff.
Yeah. Is that Marietta?
Just across the river in Parkersburg.
Yeah. Now, Aaron writes in and says, you mentioned a couple shows back in passing the Rob Liefeld podcast. It is gold. The stories are great. Rob is crazy. It's fun, entertaining, and comic history educational. I still wouldn't have known it exists if you hadn't mentioned it. So I thought I'd try and give it a little more airtime. Well, I can't take credit for that. Mike Myers has been talking about that on his show. He has tons of shows. If you ever want to check out Geek Brunch over there, or DC Noise, he's all over those feeds. But he was talking about Robservations, and it's just been raving about it. So I've got to listen to a little bit of one of them. I haven't got a chance to listen to them all yet. But yeah, it's a well done, quality podcast, and
old stories and stuff. Like that.
Yeah, he's telling old stories of like the leaving Marvel and forming Image, and some of those different imprints that he was a part of, and all those.
Talks a lot about pockets.
A lot about pockets.
Won't talk about feet. That kind of thing.
That kind of thing. But yeah, check that out. I'm glad you liked it. But yeah, thank Mike Myers for that. He also sends us his 4 Desert Island comics.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
It was a floppy, a trade, a hardcover, and an omnibus, right?
Yeah, exactly. His trade paperback is DC Legends, which is after Crisis on Infinite Earth by John Ostrander and John Byrne from 1986. I remember that. It was like 6 issue, right? And then we had the omnibus. Was Volume 1 of Sandman. And he thinks maybe he'll finally have the time to try to begin to understand it completely. Single issue, he agrees with Drew. Action Comics #1. So if I get off the island, I'll have a nice nest egg.
There you go.
And then his hardcover is It's a Bird, a novel by Steven Seagal. I'm not familiar with that. He's he put a link in here, so I'm going to check that out. And if he's going to take it to the Desert Island, I should at least check it out a little bit and know what it is.
Yeah, somebody's got that.
Have you heard of that?
Such high praise. No, I've not.
It's a bird. Comic writer Steve explores the myth and meaning of Superman for an undesirable assignment. He finds himself delving into some secrets of his own family along the way. It's a bird.
It's a bird. Huh. It's a plane. It's
very cool. We gotta check out. Yeah, that's very awesome. Like that. Thank you, Aaron, for those submissions. And if you want to be a part of the podcast, you can email us at comicsforfunandprofit@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your questions, comments, gripes, whatever you have to say. You can also shoot me something on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Our Twitter and Facebook is Comics for Fun and Profit, and our Instagram is Comics for Fun and Profit. Wait a minute. Our Twitter is Comics Fun Profit. Correct. Our Instagram and Facebook is Comics for Fun and Profit.
Because when we made the Twitter, characters mattered.
Yeah, we back then. Yeah, but yeah, I don't do a good job of keeping track of Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook comments and questions, but emails definitely I can handle that. My old brain can.
He's mostly on TikTok as well.
Yeah, do a lot of dancing. Got a lot of dances going on. Kyle, we kind of got a FOC this week.
Yeah, we've got a little preview FOC as we got a whole lot of irons in the fire this week. So as we go through FOC, I'm just going to call out some of the things that Eric also called out as his features because I don't have the official email rocking yet. And we're not going to necessarily know pricing or Cowabunga exclusive pricing on anything. That's
by the time you listen to this, you will have received the real one.
Everything will be fixed. We're making the sausage as it would. Wait, that came out wrong. Never mind. Yeah. So... but of course FOC is your final order cutoff. It's your last ability to check and add things to your order with just a couple weeks out. So this stuff is for the most part due on the 1st and the 2nd, and most of this stuff comes out the 24th of November. So your
right
order in November stuff for November. Yep. So this is stuff that's going to be coming out soon. But, of course, we get some final art. We get to jump on things that are starting to heat up, hopefully, in time, and even get some FOC exclusive items. So, of course, we'd like to jump through this and make sure we don't miss out on anything and have to find the eBays to get the stuff that we really, really want. So, Drew, let's start at the top of our DC FOC items. And while we're there, we're going to see that the Batman Catwoman #1 is something that Eric also called out, and he likes the cover A.
Yeah, this is what was supposed to happen in the last 12 issues of King's run on Batman that got aborted to this.
Yeah, they're like, you like doing this stuff so much, just write your own darn book and get it a Batman.
Yeah, and so this was, I think this was always going to be part of his 100 issues, but now it's its own thing. So I'm curious how it turns out. I'm probably going to binge it. I'm probably not going to read it.
I was thinking the same thing.
Issue to issue. I kind of got to give him. I got to give him room to get wound up. To enjoy
and I believe it's coming up as a Black series.
Black Label.
Black Label. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you look at the blank variant, it is titled with a Black Label.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if that gives a little bit more leeway with Tom King to say it's out of continuity.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe that's what's going on.
There you go.
I'm looking forward to it, though.
Our boy Dan Mora with a nice cover A on Batman Beyond 49. Really well
done. We've got the DC Nation prevents DC future state. This is like going to be is this the first appearance of all these characters, or is there something else happening before this? Is it in one of these? I was supposed to do research and have this answer, and I didn't. And what's the difference between the free?
Discover the destiny of the DC universe.
What's the difference between the free version and the paid version?
I don't know. I assume that's stuff that the final version of this will have all worked out. We don't have now. I assume it's like the 25-cent comic we got last year around this time for DC Nation, that they were a quarter piece.
Yeah.
So that's what I look for it to be, and it'll be kind of like a precursor to what's happening.
Got to have this, but if it's this cheap, there's going to be a million of these out there.
But
so,
you still want to get it because, like, when we go through some of our cover price top 10, we'll see 99-cent comics on that and stuff.
Yeah. So let's say that
get yourself a 4-pack regardless.
The future state version of Red Hood is super popular.
Yeah.
And out of all this, because this is all supposed to just take place in 2 months and then revert back to the way it was, the way DC was. So, but let's say Red Hood is so popular that they say we're going to keep doing that, a la like a Batman Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then this is the first appearance, right? So you got to have this, because you never know if one of these sticks and keeps going, and you got to have a couple. And at 25 cents, you could probably buy 10 and not even feel it.
There you go.
Right?
Yep.
So
buy yourself a 4-pack. Give 3 to other people to get them into the new stuff.
No. Buy a 10-pack.
Okay.
And then give one to a friend.
A quarter, that's
and then
uneven.
hoard the other 9 just in case.
Buy 12, keep 8, give away 4.
Okay. I like that
and
too.
Even $3, which is what you'd spend on a traditional $2.99 comic.
Yes. So yeah, that looks pretty good. Free copies. I don't know what the difference between free copies.
Again, that's probably something that will be sussed out based on retailer stuff. We get a little bit of inside information on this one, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dan Mora's take on Red Hood with the cover A there. I think I like it. Way more white than I usually see on a Red Hood title. And then the Kale Ngu variant, also pretty dope. Boy, he's getting a lot better covers than friggin' Nightwing, and he looks just horrible on half the stuff.
What was the artist's name, Kyle?
Kale Ngu.
I have no idea.
No idea. I mean, there's not enough vowels for me to be able to figure that out.
No, or they're in the wrong place. It's like
Appalachian education. Holy crap, that's the worst art I've ever seen in my life.
Where?
Suicide Squad 11, cover A.
You don't like Bruno Redondo?
I do not like Bruno Redondo.
Now we know.
Did you click it?
Yeah, it's very stylized.
Oh wow, what a cop out.
Well, I mean, I don't know who this center character is, what they look like normally.
Correct, but just like the obnoxious flash behind, I don't know. I just think it's not good.
Could you draw better?
Sir, I have a day job. I'm hoping Bruno Redondo does as well. That is not shots fired. Calls him like I sees him.
Yeah. Bruno Redondo is Jim Lee's brother-in-law.
Oh, such a nice guy.
That's why he's got
I hope they didn't cancel Christmas.
That's why he has a job.
Yeah. Anything else from our good friends at DC? Well, let me see if Eric had any more call-outs in DC. He also talked about Wonder Woman 767 Middleton version. A very cool-looking cardstock version. A very striking cover, that's for darn sure.
Is that the Wonder Woman?
Yep.
I have a slow internet, man. Oh, that is nice. Yeah, I like that.
All right, let's go down to some Dark Horse items. Of course, when we're doing FOC, if your local comic shop does FOC, your DC items are due by 6 o'clock on Sunday. Hypothetically, yours may be different. They may need a little bit more time. And then standard things due on Monday by 6 o'clock for all your other items. To be guaranteed to get these in your polls and stuff on time. And for discounted rates.
And then we have Stranger Things Science Camp #3. They're I guess they didn't do a D&D cover for this. Weren't they doing a D&D coverage for this? Or was that a different?
It was a different book.
Oh, was it different Stranger Things?
It was.
I'm slipping.
Not a problem at all.
Let's put me down. Well, if we look in IDW, there's something called the Comic Book History of Animation #1 by Fred Van Lente and Ryan Dunleavy on art. And if you saw the Comic Book History of Comic Books that they did earlier, they're doing this with animation and talking about Disney and Miyazaki and Hanna-Barbera and Pixar. Might be cool. Might be cool.
Yeah.
It's a 5-issue miniseries, though. You might want to wait for the trade. But if you're just itching for that information, you can get it in floppies as well.
Classic Mike Allred on X-Ray Robot.
Kyle,
Yes,
Mountain Head is finishing up. Mountain Head is finishing up. I totally forgot about this book.
Oh, yeah.
I assumed I had missed the final issue, and it just happened like around COVID or something, and I just didn't. This was supposed to come out in October of 2019.
Yes, it was.
And it is now coming out, and I just assumed I had already read it or I had already missed it.
That being said, are you gonna find out what happens, or is the die passed, as they say?
I mean, if they got like a recap page, I mean, I forgot almost I think I've forgotten everything. Yes.
Oh, my classic Liefeld Snake Eyes Dead Game #3 cover A. Classic Liefeld.
Is there pouches?
Pouches, and he's in thigh deep water, so we don't have to draw feet.
It's fantastic.
I love it. I love the Liefeldian things. I think he leans into the tropes so much. It's just awesome. Cover B as well. Bigger pouches, and again, we cut off the knees. I love it.
Know your strengths, man.
Oh, I just love that he leans into it now. TMNT Best of Donatello. Ooh, the purple one. Look at that. That is gorgeous.
Yeah, you skipped the Raphael, didn't you?
No. No. I got Raphael.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
The red one? Yeah. And you already pre-ordered this one? You think?
No, I don't. No, I didn't. Add me one of these.
So you want one of these?
Yeah.
Are we doing anything special for Transformers #25? Is that a milestone for IDW?
Yeah, maybe. War World begins here. So yes, we're starting a new.
Well, so nothing really.
Yeah. It all leads up to this, with Megatron making his plan for Cybertron. Ironhide, Chromia, and Hound launch an operation to free those he has imprisoned. The future of Cybertron rests in uncertain hands in this double-sized, action-packed issue.
Stan Sagai has allowed Peach Momoko to do a cover of Usagi.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so the new Usagi Yojimbo Wanderer's Road has a Peach Momoko cover, and it's quite nice, quite pleasant.
Hey, jump on the train with us, Drew. There's plenty of room.
I'm just not hating. It doesn't mean I'm on the train.
Jump on the train, Drew.
It's very nice.
Plenty of room. We got to look at these Department of Truth incentive covers, because we got a dope one we missed last time. Ugh, crap, this 25 is awesome as well. I think they're going to start just going as demented as possible with these incentive-based covers for these. Yeah. Just to really get us. Because that #2 was so wicked when I saw it. But I was afraid of it.
Well, I mean, are you doing a 10 copy, a 25 copy? Are you going to do that? Are you going to pull the trigger?
I should have on 2, is what I'm saying. I missed the boat on the 25 incentive copy on 2.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You're never doing that.
Have you seen 2?
No, but I just know
we'll
you're
talk
not
about it later. in the
You're
cover.
not gonna you're not gonna pull the trigger. I just know you're not gonna.
Like if I'd have seen this cover, I'd have mentioned. I would
You'd
have
have
called
pulled. You'd have pulled a 1 in 25 incentive cover.
Yeah.
You'd have spent the money. $50. You'd have done that.
I don't think it would have been that steep, but yeah, maybe because it was such a dope cover.
All right.
Ice Cream Man, local comic book shop day 2020, and Drew, by golly, we got yet another Seussian book.
Yeah. That's Green Eggs and Ham, right?
Green Eggs and Ham. Green Ice Cream Man. So, again, it's tough to get a...
Guess I have to get this to complete the set.
Mm-hmm. It's tough to get a break on LCSD items because our good friends at our comic shops don't get breaks on these LCSD items. But I think we've got to have that one.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too. And we look at Savage Dragon is doing a retro 70s trade dress for Image, but Image wasn't around in the 70s, so I'm not really sure what they're going for there. So it's supposed to just look like an old Marvel comic. I guess.
We were talking about the LCSD items, so we have 4 LCSD items. It looks like from Image in this.
Right.
We have that Ice Cream Man. We have a gold foil version of Invincible #1.
Yeah.
We have, is that that's a comic, isn't it? Yeah. We have a gold foil Monstrous Talk Stories, and we have a version of Spawn 312. It looks like.
Yeah. Now, Kyle, if you go down to Spawn 312 cover C, that's a made up name, right? That's not an actual artist.
Tonto Revolver.
Tauntaun Revolver. That's fake, right? That can't be real.
Correct. Yeah.
That's got to be a pen name, or it's somebody's nom de plume.
He
maybe.
saw Mark Twain was taken and panicked.
If that's someone's birth name, I can't imagine it.
Son of Jim Revolver.
And just loved that scene from Empire.
Yeah.
Who didn't?
That's exactly Tauntaun. I'm named after something that smells bad on the outside. So we have cover A, B, and C available for Spawn 312, and then we have a cover we still don't have available as the LCSD variant on that.
Right. And maybe keep your eyes peeled for the email. Maybe Eric's doing the bundle again.
Yeah, it's possible. He's been doing a lot of that because Spawn's been very cool because I saw a lot of people super happy with their Black Panther homages that just came out. Down into Marvel, sir?
Yes. I don't know. Did I report back on the Marvel snapshots that was done by Chaykin, the Spider-Man Chaykin issue? It was so good. It was so good, and it was like Spider-Man was hardly in it. It was basically a Chaykin crime book, like a Chaykin a la Brubaker type crime story, and Spider-Man was in it maybe a couple of panels, a handful of panels, and it was called Spider-Man Marvel Snapshot #1. But it was just awesome. The fact that it was just great. It was just great comics, but not really anything to do with Spider-Man. Kind of in there, but not really. But it was a really fun read and worth reading. So these things are odd. These things some are straight up stories that jive, and some are just out there. So this one is Civil War Marvel's Snapshots #1, and this is Saladin Ahmed doing it. It's probably more by the numbers, I'm guessing. But yeah, check out these snapshots when they come out, just to see who the creators are.
Because we have Civil War snapshots #1 here.
Yes, that's one. Yeah, exactly. We're relaunching some Fantastic Four down here with Road Trip #1, and this is Chris Cantwell. I like his writing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if this is a one shot. Is this a 6-issue mini? What is this exactly? But interesting.
Here we have our Heroes at Home book from Marvel, $9.99. Zeb Wells writing this. Being stuck inside isn't easy for anyone, even superheroes. See how your favorite Marvel characters have coped being cooped up with Heroes at Home. See how Spider-Man, the Hulk, Captain Marvel, Wolverine, Black Panther, and Captain America do in quarantine. Let Marvel make you smile, courtesy of artists Guru and the writer Steve Wells' Sunday Funnies. I don't know if they're collecting the covers they did on these Heroes at Home covers into a book, or if they're writing individual things. But just, if you're collecting things that happened during COVID, here you go.
Yeah, there you go. Kyle, what's this King in Black thing all about?
King in Black is obviously hard for me to click on. Alright, darkness reigns after a campaign across the galaxy. Null's death, spoiler alert, or death march. Okay, sorry, wait, hold on. Null's death march arrives to Earth, and, worse yet, he hasn't come alone. With an army of hundreds of thousands of symbiote dragons at his command, the King in Black is a force unlike any Earth's heroes have ever faced. Eddie Brock, a.k.a. Venom, has seen firsthand the chaos that even one of Null's symbiotic monsters can wreak. Will he survive an encounter with the God of the Abyss himself?
And this is new stories? Because some of this stuff is... Null Marvel Tales is actually a reprint, right?
Yes.
So they're both about
new
Null.
Donny Cates.
This is a new Donny Cates. And then Null Marvel Tales is #1 is a reprint of Venom 3. Is that correct? Is that right?
Yes.
So that's why it's $8.
Yeah. In Venom 3 and 4.
Oh, Venom 3 and 4. Okay. All right. So where does it? So okay. So we did 4 or 5 printings of Venom 3.
Yeah.
So this, what does this count as?
Yeah.
Where does this fit? I don't know. Just a reprint. It's just a reprint, I guess. At this point, it's not collectible. Is what I'm asking. Is that correct?
Correct.
Probably, but you never know.
Correct.
With Donny Cates.
Yeah, this might also have Venom 25. Yeah, I don't know what's on this, but at least Venom 3 and 4 is.
Yes.
Boy.
MODOK gets a miniseries, a 4-issue miniseries. Patton Oswalt's doing some of the writing on this.
There you go.
So
there'll be a whole panel dedicated to the KFC Famous Bowl.
Maybe this I guess it's going to be a show on Hulu. So MODOK's getting a show on Hulu. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And so Patton Oswalt will be involved in that. Is he going to be the voice of MODOK? Maybe.
Sounds a lot like Ratatouille.
That's pretty cool. Could be good.
Yeah, there you go.
Could be good.
We got a 5-issue series from Power Pack back here, Drew.
How about that?
That holds a special place in my heart, always. But probably not right now.
Is any the covers jumping off of it? Yeah, they're all pretty standard.
They're all pretty standard, but they're neat.
They do a good job.
Mm-hmm. The Union, #1. Drew.
What is it?
I do not know.
Tell me.
I do not have a solicit.
Huh. Paul Grist, Andrea DeVito.
Yep. The grand unveiling of The Union, a team of superheroes gathered from all over the United Kingdom, featuring Union Jack, Snakes, Kelpie, Choir, and their fearless leader, Britannia. But when disaster strikes on their first public debut in the form of an invasion of Empire with a Y, the fledgling team is immediately pushed to their limits. Don't miss out on an exciting new chapter of Marvel from legendary creators Paul Grist and Andrea DeVito.
Gotcha.
These are all existing British superheroes, correct? I don't know if any of them are new.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody cares about British superheroes.
Somebody does. Somebody out there loves them.
Mm.
Yeah, that's all I had for Marvel.
Okay.
What kind of Mega Man cover we got there? Look at that Mora.
Boom. Yeah. Let's see what our...
We didn't get to see that one. But we can see the main.
Yep, cover A, not too shabby, a little bit humanish. Dr. Light chilling there, getting into the action behind him, I assume. Or is that Wily? You can never tell.
I don't remember. It was the 90s. Early 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s? When was Mega Man?
Yeah, we got the first Mega Man in the late 80s. The first Rock Band, I should say. But then he's continued. I mean, we just got Mega Man 11 last year.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you still play it, or have you given up?
I still play them. Still love them.
Do you really? That's awesome.
The X Series collection, because they recollected all the Mega Man X's and all the regular Mega Mans in a couple different collections. So went back and replayed them. 2 is still my favorite. 3 is probably the best ever.
Wow, that's cool.
I Walk with Monsters #1 from Vault. Paul Cornell, Sally Cantorino.
Well, you might walk with monsters, but I make boys cry #1.
Oh, we all knew this.
This is Benny Powell, Kreese on art, and Jamie Tyndall. Oh, this is that White Widow spin-off thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we were less than impressed with that. All right, there's our FOC. Thanks, Eric, for getting it out. We appreciate that. And you guys stay tuned for some pricing information when you get yours. And he'll have a little more details on some of those hot books that he's selected when the email comes out. Well, you've already seen the email, because by the time you listen to this, it will already be in your hot little hands.
Yep, absolutely.
And if you don't have it yet, because we didn't do a very good job of telling you lately, it's in the show notes. Please click on that. And you can always go to Cowabunga website and email him, and he'll get you on the that way as well. So.
100%. All right, Drew. Do we want to look at some of our hot books?
Yeah, man. Let's do the hot 10.
All right, let's head over to our friends at comicbookinvest.com. They do a great job.
I think I'm supposed to do the hot 10 before the FOC, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I blew that.
It's
Go
all good in the hood. But the Hot 10 is, of course, a list that they curate each and every Friday for the hot books that they see selling, and they tell us all about them. So, Drew, let's start with the first one. The Last Ronin, #1, the Aaron Bartling variant, limited to 300.
Wow.
A Kevin Eastman cover. Actually, no. Sorry, it's the Aaron Bartling cover. Kevin Eastman doing some of the interior art. We knew this would likely be expensive based on the couple of pre-sales way back in the summer. Now it is live. The $550 sales are impressive.
That's nuts.
Yeah. We talked about this at one point. Dark Knight's
Yes.
Death Metal, Rise of the New Gods #1, the Boss Logic 1 in 25.
Yeah, we were intrigued by this one. It looked like the Jock cover from that detective that was so popular. That was reminiscent of that, and this is doing well, over $60 already.
Over $60, yeah, moving well. In general, The Last Ronin #1, $20 to $30 isn't a massive price hike for a $9 cover price book, but the buzz surrounding this book is immense for those that have read it. Did it live up to your hype?
Yeah, I wonder if the art changed dramatically.
There you go. Department of Truth #2. This is the one in 25 you and I were talking about with a just crazy striking cover. Yowza, the cover looks like it belongs back in the pre-code era. Anyway, selling for double ratio at around $50.
So if you would have seen that, you would have said, yeah.
Yeah, I would have said there's something to that cover that will both amaze, sicken people, and do all kinds of weird things to them. Pretty dope. I was going to get a hold of Eric and try to get a hold of this Batgirl, and I forgot. I think we've been down the CW spec trail before, but maybe DC will use Ryan Wilder well in the future. In any case, the $6 cover price book is selling for over $20.
What's the deal? Why?
Carter. Yeah.
Which one is he?
I don't know.
It's in the book?
Yeah.
In the book? Okay.
Yep. At rank 6, we have Assassin's Creed. Interesting book. Was a giveaway from pre-orders of the video game 2007. More than doubled in price this week to $70 after it was announced that there would be an Assassin's Creed show on Netflix. If you find this, be aware that it did come with a poster.
Would do comic people care if the poster is in there?
Yes. Comic people care about everything. They're crazy.
Yeah, they care about coupons, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Stamps.
Yeah.
Hulk 181.
Yep, look at that. Look at Werewolf by Night.
Look at Werewolf by Night, rank 7, Werewolf by Night 32. While it hasn't hit all-time highs yet, the uptick this week after the announcement of Poe Dameron as Moon Knight is too much to ignore. 9.0s were about $2,100 a month ago and are now $2,700. I'm going to just stew on this for a minute for Drew.
I sold for 10 cents on the dollar. 10 cents on the dollar. My God.
Dr. A for #5, Terry Dodson 1 in 25. I don't know about you, but I think Dodson's style fits Afra perfectly, selling for $35 to $40 just after its release. At rank 9, we have Ye Old Lore of Yore, Jeremy Bastian. Another one of these not so easy to find and off the radar books. Rawls used to run around 60. Couple of SS 9.8 sold this week for $300 to $350 and expect to pay at least that for any copy going forward. Same author as Mouseguard. This features the first appearance of Cursed Pirate Girl.
Wow, I've never heard of that.
Me either. At rank 10, we have Wolverine from 2013, the #8 1 in 30 Matthew Waite variant. So this was about a $20 to $30 book. Now a 9.8 has sold, and all current listings are over $100. I am a kid of the 80s, so I do like a lot of these 8-bit covers.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah, same with me. I also child of the 80s. Honorable mentions from here: Spider-Gwen, #5, the David Aja San Diego Comic-Con variant from 2015. Okay, so this one is not an easy one to find. In fact, no copies have sold in the past 30 days. When you look at what they have sold for, which is around $75, and then you look at what they're listed at, $100 and $150, and then combine that with the heat that Aja is getting, this one is set to increase in value, and it is a gorgeous cover, which we had a lot of them.
Yes.
From the Out There collection, we have Horrors 13. Definitely an L.B. Cole cover. The prose on the cover doesn't match the artwork at all, but who cares? A 7.0 sold for $1,700 this week.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And since I did things out of order, I'm going to go right into the cover price top 10. #1, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. #110, the Ben Bates 1 in 10 variant.
And we talked about how these 1 in 10s have been getting very quick heat. And we thought this one might do the same, and sure enough it did.
Sure enough, it did. Mercy Sparks Zero. We talked about this a little bit. Continuing to sell well. $50 for a raw near mint. Paper Girls #1. Love this book so much. We've got plenty of them. We should probably start selling them.
Yes.
This is a high sale of $100 for a CGC 9.8.
Which I could have got a Signature Series 9.8 of like everybody for like $60 not too long ago, and I did not do it.
Yeah. X-Men 4 from 92. This is the Omega Red. And it's continuing to sell. Sold 20 copies. 9.8 sold for $169. ASM 300. Yep, still selling well. Almost $4,500 for a 9.8.
Damn.
Static #1. This is the Milestone book from 93. 23 collector's edition versions of this sold this week. $125 for a raw, still bagged. Gotham Academy #1 from 2014. This is Maps Mizoguchi, debuted as the newest Robin. This first appearance sold 22 copies, $175 for a 9.8. And there are Clunin 1 and 25 variants that are also selling very, very well. Phantom Star Killer #1, a scout book from recently. The New York Comic Con version skyrocketed, and this first issue is also doing well. It only sold 13 copies, but there weren't that many listed. It had a high sale, $15 for a raw copy, so there might be some movement and upward mobility on that. We Live, the Dustin Nguyen 1 in 15 variant from Aftershock. This is sold 19 copies and selling $45 for a raw copy. Phantom Star Killer #1, the New York Comic Con variant. This is what is this? $300 for a raw copy. That's pretty darn good. So yeah, you couldn't really go to New York Comic Con, but somehow you must have been able to get hold of the exclusives.
There we go.
Yeah.
And in our honorable mentions, and our runners-up for cover price top 10 at rank 11, we have Justice League 50. Of course, from 2016. These are the first full appearances of Jessica Cruz, and the first mention of 3 Jokers. We saw a CGC 9.8 going for over $200. At rank 12, Ultimate Fallout continuing to move over $1,000 for a CGC 9.8. Rank 13, we have the gold foil 1 per store variant of Walking Dead Deluxe 1, $75 raw. Thor 6, still moving good. The Del Auto 1 in 50, CGC 9.8, $156. Talked about the new Wear Buff by Night series. There's the Takashi Okazaki variant, the newest hottest variant of the week, moving 12 copies, $81 for the raw version of that. Of course, Edge of Spider-Verse 2, it's our first Spider-Gwen / Ghost Spider. Close to $1,000 for a 9.8, $990, crazy. Of course, ASM 4, that's our Silk, cooling down a little bit. Don't want to hear that. Not a big fan of that. Under $300 for a CGC 9.8. Come on, Silk. Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer's Supreme #1. This first issue features a couple of first appearances like Kushala the Demon Rider and Nina the Conjurer. It was recently announced that Demon Rider will be getting his own comic series. High sale, $15.50 for all. Good old Moon Knight #1 from 1980, CGC 9.8, almost hitting $400. And Icon #1, 1993, DC's comic. This issue is the preview of Static #1, $25 for all.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now we're back on track, and we can go look at the sneak peek of next week.
That's right. Now it's time for our sneak peek of next week. And, of course, Drew and I start with our friends at UCS. We go to ucscomicdistributors.com/new releases, and that gives us the stuff coming out for 11/3/2020. And we are on Batman 102, and Matina has a dope-looking cover B.
And then Ghostmaker is the cover for the 1 in 25.
Didn't think we were allowed to talk about the 1 in 25. Moving on.
Oh my God, you're just such a baby. You're such a baby.
Strange Adventures Director's Cut. What do we think of the Director's Cut on Strange Adventures?
That all the way back down in the S's?
If going
Look at that.
Then yes.
Yeah, there it is. Interesting.
And $6 for this already. Tom King milking a little bit there. Sweet Tooth, The Return, Jeff Lemire Comics. Here we go. DC Black Label.
The Matina Dead Planet is really nice.
Tales from the Dark Multiverse, Batman Hush #1. Of course, Hush is a big thing. This is a nice little $6 one shot.
The Ben Oliver movie homage variant for Deceased Dead Planet, is that like something I should recognize with the blue?
I do not know the answer to that one.
Yeah, it doesn't look familiar at all. Yeah, I like that Sweet Tooth. I have to get that. Now, you really are a big fan of Hush. Were you thinking about getting that?
I'm a big fan of Hush. I love him as a character. Curious in this one.
Philip Kennedy Johnson. We like him because he did something we liked. What was it? I can't remember.
You're talking about him for The Last God, but it wasn't that.
Is that what they said it was? I don't. That wasn't what we liked. We liked something else.
Yeah. Anything else?
Warlords of Appalachia and Low Road West. He did both of those.
Yes.
I think those were like Boom books, maybe. Aftershock or something. Yeah.
Derek Chuk, Young Justice 20. I like his take on that. Man, I'm liking these Derek Chus more and more when I see him. A little bit more of a Japanese anime style on them. I like it.
Yeah. Very good.
So, anything else from our friends at UCS and our DC titles?
No.
All right, head over to previewsworld.com November 4th, 2020 and start in Image.
Well,
Crossover.
Pretty sure.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
Go
ahead.
One.
Yeah,
Big
go
one's
ahead.
crossover. Donny Cates writing the creative powerhouse behind the best-selling, critically acclaimed God Country. Thanos wins, and Redneck returns for the biggest launch of the year. Imagine everything you thought was fantasy was real, and now join us in a world where reality is dead and anything is possible. I look for every Image book ever created to just start popping out of this book. Am I wrong to think that?
No, I think you're right, and then that'll be fun. That'll be lots of fun, and I hope they do that.
There you go. I like the cover B. It's cool looking. I also like the cover C. But mostly the cover A is my favorite.
We got goddamn Virgin Brides, #4. Very happy. I just read 3 last night.
Oh, did you? Nice.
It was great. It's still very, very solid.
Here is our Savage Dragon 252 second print Charlie Brown parody cover. Finally coming out.
With a bonus week for FOC.
Yeah, that we were very high on during FOC because we were in the know and we didn't think many people were. So much so that they decided that they didn't want us to be the only people in the know, and they held it over for a second week and ruined all our excitement.
Yeah, they did it to us on purpose.
Yep. 5 covers for Walking Dead, Drew. This is when I ask you, are you still ordering 5 covers, and which one's your favorite?
I'm ordering all of them, and I like them more.
I really like my boy Glenn on that cover E.
All the Art Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep, still ordering them all, but I got a problem. We know that.
Down to Dark Horse.
Yes.
Bang is ending. Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team number 3, continuing to do well. This game just got punted again till mid-December. So all this stuff that's coming out, everything except the darn game.
It's kind of a spoiler, right? There's the Stranger Things D&D crossover.
Yep, there's your D&D crossover.
And that is... Is that the player's manual?
We have this conversation every time we think something's the player's manual. Yes.
Monster manual?
Monster manual is what we thought it was.
Yes.
But art not final, so who knows?
Not quite nerdy enough, Kyle. We're not quite nerdy enough.
No. That, or we're just nerdy with a tinge of Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Yep.
TMNT Jenica number 2, 1 of 6. If you're into the new TMNT character Jenica, boy, Kevin Eastman will give you an awesome cover B on that one. Down into Marvel.
Struggling here.
Yeah. Ultraman going to a second print. More people than I thought were interested in Ultraman. I had talked about liking some of these Bounty Hunters second printings. Number 5 going to a second print there. Not as cool as some of the ones I'd liked, but that one is still pretty nice. Thor number 2 going to a 6th print. Why not just pick up everything at this point?
Keep doing it.
Yep. Not much in Marvel for me. Disappointing week for me in Marvel.
Yeah, it's not great.
Drew, do you know anything about Dynamite number 1?
No, I do not.
I don't either. Dynamite's newest Masterfully Malevolent Mini features a double dose of covers from Peach Momoko, and get this month's Red Sonja portrait free of book dress in this limited Virgin edition. Green Hornet, Kato. I don't think I even understand what this really is.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just a Red Sonja limited version? Interesting. Oh, so there's a Sonya, a Vampirello, and just another way of selling the same darn thing that we skip over each week.
Exactly.
We discussed that we are not interested in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers anymore. We think the die has moved on all of that stuff.
Yes, we do.
But we do have Origins number 1 from Boom Studios.
This is the one we passed on because it was a cross between Ascender and something else that we didn't like. Remember that?
Descender and Little Bird.
We're like, yeah. You had me until
you had us until you threw that out. We thought it was weird. We only find them when they're dead. Number 2 going to a second print. And let's see if there's anything in our smaller publishers.
I do like Cold Dead Hands number 1 from Source Point Press. This is Garrett Gunn doing the writing, Lee Malusky on art, and it's about aspiring mercenary Kit Kelso, who comes wrist to wrist with the deadliest hands in history. That's all there is to it. Very simple, but it has my curiosity piqued.
At Darkwing number 1 of 10, I've been jumping on these heavy metal minis that they've been doing. I don't
good
know
call.
With them doing these. I like what heavy metal does, and I like its art. So I'm gonna I grabbed this and one other this month, going from them doing these series. I kind of like that they're pivoting what they do and going more into a traditional comic book phase, and I'm going to support that while I can. The Darkwing, a planet turned into a spaceship by human-like people known as Quails, searches the cosmos for a solar system to call home, piloted by the legendary Benedict Gunn. The exploration of this gargantuan ship is an adventure like no other. But when Captain Gunn pulls a daring interstellar maneuver, the price he and his crew must pay is deadly.
We've got a new Ahoy #1. Ahoy Comics is one of my favorite publishers of last year. This one is Happy Hour #1. Peter Milligan doing the writing, Michael Montanaro on the art. In future America, being happy isn't just a right, it's the law. While the Joy Police brutally enforce this cheery code, two young people go on the road, searching for a haven of melancholy where they can safely bask in their blues. If you remember, all Ahoy comics come with additional extras, prose, pictures, and even poems in the back. The back matter is always solid in Ahoy. So this is a good one.
I'm going to call you the Joy Police.
I could not be further from the Joy Police.
The Land That Time Forgot, Fearless #1 from American mythology. So this is, of course, the Edgar Rice Burroughs Land That Time Forgot.
Oh, I gotcha.
With an all-new series set in the astounding prehistoric world of Caspak, set during the time period of the original novel, The Land Before Time. The Land That Time Forgot. Fearless reveals a previously untold story of Bowen Tyler and Lys LaRue as they trekked across the landscape to the unforgettable and unforgotten prehistoric world of Caspak. Giant spiders, fierce ape-like warriors, prehistoric beasts, and Sita the Savage. This one has it all. I liked The Land That Time Forgot, so this is kind of neat, but I don't know that I necessarily care that much.
Yes. Pantomime #1 is from Mad Cave Studios. This is a Chris Sabella book with art by David Stoll. Haley and her brother Max are alone after their mother's death and sent to Wayfair Academy, a special needs boarding school. Eventually, they find family amongst other deaf children. Does that mean that they are deaf as well? One night, the group decides to dip their toes into crime, and the thrill is too much to leave behind. They soon find out that stealing from the wrong person has its consequences. With no one to turn to but each other, they must make a choice, one where no one comes out the same. So that's interesting. I'm not 100% sure. I guess they're deaf. Are they deaf? Why would they go to... It says family amongst other deaf children. I guess that means they're deaf, right? And that would make sense with pantomime, I guess, as the title. So, yeah, kind of cool. Kind of cool concept.
Red Atlantis #1 from Aftershock Comics. This is one of the few Aftershock comics that I did not get. I was not interested in this necessarily, but some other people know. Stephanie Phillips, Robert Carey. A series of unexplained violent crimes on Election Day around the U.S. lead the FBI to zero in on a covert group of Russian terrorists. When a Texas journalism student named Miriam accidentally finds herself mixed up in the investigation, her life will never be the same. With political espionage, treason, and even mind control, can she clear her name and stop the U.S. from entering into a new Cold War? A raw and brutal thriller ripped from tomorrow's headlines.
Very, very nice. That sounds good. We have Savage Circus #1. This is a Heavy Metal 2.
Yes, this is the other one I got, yeah.
Yeah, so this looks pretty cool. There's a crime spree going on, but they collide with a runaway train. The train capsizes, not capsizes, that's boats. They derail. The train derails and scatters all the contents. It's a circus train though, and it's not just any circus. It's a savage circus, which has like crazy, deadly animals in it. And then they've got to run away from these psychotic animals, and it's a pretty cool high concept. I like it, and it might be a fun read. It's a 10-issue miniseries. You'd think that they could probably get that done in half that, but
there's animals everywhere. This is going to take some time.
This is going to take 10 issues to find these guys. But a cool concept.
There you go. And like I said, I've been jumping on some of these heavy metal traditional comic books.
And I think they've had some heat too because the print runs have been pretty reasonable. It's not an FO. I don't think they participate in FOC.
Yeah, I don't believe so.
So you either pre-order them or you don't.
There you go. We loved Year Zero Volume 1. Here we have Year Zero Volume 2. Cover 1 being a Kari Andrews, and a really awesome cover on that as well. This, of course, from artists, writers, and artisans, or Upshot Comics. Post-apocalyptic zombies, get 'em while you can. They only did 5 issues in the first one. Why not just keep that going and not split it in 2? But hey, whatever.
Exactly.
Anything else, Drew?
No, nothing else for me in the back half.
This is the point of the podcast where I ask for your pick of the week. What's the one book to make sure you go to your LCS? Make sure you put in your little short box in your top loader, and know that it is going to be featured on one of our top 10s or our hot 10s here in the future.
Well, let's hope it's Happy Hour #1 from Ahoy Comics. That's the one I'm going with.
There you go. And I'm going to go with Darkwing #1 from Heavy Metal Magazine. A lot of things here that could have also got him. Of course, the big one, Crossover #1, big feature from Image. And then Hush #1 from DC, another thing that made my tops. But I'm going to give it to Darkwing #1 from Heavy Metal. So, a lot of really good books this week. All kinds of reasons to go to your local comic book shops. Do not forget them. Do not miss them, because some of these books will fly off the shelves and be gone. I cannot wait to read Crossover #1. That'll be the one I read right away. And, of course, Drew is having a small emergency at his house, but it's all good. So, all kinds of things to get this week. Don't be waiting. Hit your LCS on Tuesday and on Wednesday to make sure you get your copies of these books. Have them in your pull boxes. All kinds of good stuff here. I want to thank you so much for tagging along with Drew and myself as our sneak peek at this week. So for Drew and for myself, see you.